Control Cast here, bringing you a deck profile for the deck I brought to the Philadelphia Regional, and that deck is Mythic Dragon Rulers. Deck's too good. I want X2 with it at a 600 something person event. You know, we kind of got screwed over because we only got 9 rounds and only top 48 topped, because when they entered it into the system, it didn't include any of the pre-registered people. So we went off of that for tops and prize support, and then like midway through round 1 they realized that all the pre-registered people weren't playing and had to put them in, but at that point they had already announced that it was going to be 9 rounds in top 48, so nothing they could really do about it at that point except for kind of fuck over the player pool, but that's fine. I think it ended up being something like 580 people, close to 600, if not a little bit more, playing. Well, it was almost exactly 500 before the pre-registered people, so however many pre-regs there were, that plus 500 was the player base. I went X2, technically, X3, I guess. Basically, I already had my invite, so I scooped my friend last round so he can get his invite. For the record, though, I did 2 of the balls out of him. Like, it wasn't even close. It was like a 6-minute match. And we were both trying pretty hard, because originally I didn't tell him that I was just going to scoop to him. So, he thought he was playing for his invite, where I knew all along that I was just going to give it to him if he lost. So, it's whatever. Good guy, controlled chaos. Yeah, so it was a really good event. Really good time. I'll explain more of it throughout the deck profile and then after the deck profile. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy the deck profile. Here we go. Alright, guys, we're just going to power through this real quick here. For the Dragon Rulers, 3 Blaster, 3 Tempest, 3 Tidal, 3 Redox. You know, it's the boring shit, but you really got to play it in a deck like this. For the Mythics, 2 Water, 2 Tree. 2 of each is enough. 1's not enough. 3's too many. The OCG, people only play 1 of each, but that's because they have Trishula, so their deck's more based around that. For the tuners, 2 Debris Dragon, 1 Corseska, 1 Guard. Debris Dragon's just so clutch because like it's an answer to Ophion, it's an answer to Crimson Blader, because like you can just make Maze Stroke with it. It also allows access into your level 7 synchros with this guy, Card Trooper. He's so busted because like he just fill your grave with him. So if you don't have Ravine, it's not that big a deal. He crashes with things like Thunder King. He gets over Kaiku, and it just, all in all, it's just a good card. And then 2 Max E. I don't play the Scarecrow because if you have Max E, your opponent automatically assumes that you have Scarecrow. That is if they're a good player. At Philly, only 1 person played into the Max E challenge at all. You know, but it's, you know, it sucks when they actually do it, but most of the time they won't, especially if they're a good player. So, for the spells, triple Ravine, standard, triple Sword, also standard, 2 Space Typhoon. I 2-for-1 so many people with this. It was so good. Like, if I summon Debris, this is normally when I 2-for-1 them, because like they'll chain Vanities, and I'll be like, alright, Resolution's fine. And then after the chain resolves, I'll flip Space on one of the other face downs, and like, I actually hit return with it a couple of times, and they can't chain return because Vanities is still technically on board. So then they just lose 2 of the best cards in their deck just to my 1 Typhoon. 1 Book of Moon and 1 Gold Sark. This card sucks in any non-Mythic Dragon Ruler build, so don't play it. But if you play Mythics, you should probably play it. For the traps, 1 Wing Blast, 1 Compulse, 1 Trap Stun, 1 Vanities, 1 Wabaku, and 1 of the best card in the game. This card is so good. I'm actually kind of pissed. I lost a mini competition I had with my teammate Ryan Pasnick. We both main decked 1, wanted to see whose would win the more matches, and you know, mine only won me 2, his won him 3, so kind of lost out on that one. But still, regardless, the card put in mad work. So that was, I guess, my main deck tech that put in some work. I'll go to my extra next. It's all pretty standard stuff. For the 7s, 1 Ancient Fairy, 1 Black Rose, 8s, Scrap Dragon, Stardust, Colossal Fighter, Stardust Spark, and Crimson Blader. Colossal Fighter's definitely MVP of this extra deck, even over Felgrand, because like I played against so many Mythic Rulers, and like they would be bad and leave out a Felgrand and a Blaster and then pass turn, thinking they're safe. So then I just summon this dude, crash into Blaster, crash into Felgrand, swing for 29, and it's just so good. And then lastly, for the Synchros, 1 Star Eater, because you play Debris so you can make it. For the Xyz monsters, 1 Maze Stroke, 1 Draco, 1 Big Eye, 1 Gaia Charger. I didn't really use any of these that much. I made Draco a few times, but usually it was off of an autonomous action unit play, or if it was off of a return. To be honest, like, I really don't make him unless I'm like out of resources. And then for the 8s, Felgrand, Dragluon, and Heliopolis, this card's just busted. It's a game changer. It's the reason that this deck is played over, you know, any kind of pure Dragon Rulers. For the side deck, put in the most work here. DD Crow, Vanity's Fiend, my only sided monsters. Vanity's Fiend, if you're going first, is just, it's too strong for like, any deck to deal with, really. Like, if you summon this against, like, even Evil Swarm, turn 1, they kind of just lose. Like, they're forced to not make a play and just, like, waste their resources to get over this, and then you just win. 2 Encore, 2 Autonomous Action Unit. I put this in, like, last second, and it puts in so much work. Because, like, I got Ancient Fairy looped a couple times, and you just were born, you pay 1,500, you were born their Ancient Fairy from their grave, and then you pop their Ravine, you gain 1,000 of that back, and then you search your own Ravine, and you can go off all from just, you know, that one card. For the traps, the second Wing Blast and second Wabaku, I couldn't decide whether or not I wanted to main 2 of this or 2 of this, so I decided, fuck it, just go with 1 of each. It actually was really good like that. I side both of these back in when I play against like any kind of mirror match or any OTK deck. 2 Divine Wrath, you know, self-explanatory. It's like Debunk but better. Like, I don't know why this card's $3 and Debunk's 20 or 10 or whatever it is, because like this is just better. You can do it from anywhere, and yeah, it doesn't banish it, but still, you can cut them off of a color. You can stop a summon. You could, it's busted. 1 Eradicator, 2 Skill Drain. Didn't really side these in too much because most of what I played were mirror matches, but when I did side it in, it was like the difference between a win and a loss. Like, it just put in so much work when I did side it. And then lastly, I didn't side these at all, but DNA Surgery. I refuse to take these out though, because like if you play against Noble Knights or Prophecy or Bujin or Fire Fist, like this is just GG. And fortunately for me, I guess, I didn't play against any of those at Philly, but you know, if I did, I was ready for them. But so these are definitely staying in, but they didn't do anything for me at Philadelphia. Alright guys, well that's it for the deck profile. Stay tuned afterwards for some talk about matchups and whatnot. I'm probably going to say it again then, but I'll say it now. Like, comment, subscribe down below. Alright guys, that was the deck profile. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. A couple things I want to talk about real quick are some of my siding choices and some of my matchups for Philly. Sorry if I'm looking down. I have my matchups listed on my phone here. So real quick, run through round 1 Infernity. I chewed the balls off of them. It was a good build. It was like the rank 4 loop kind of build, but you know, Vanity's Emptiness too strong. Round 2, Dragon Ruler, I lost 1-2. Game 3, he flipped return after, like, alright, first of all, he had like 6 plays. He just opened nuts. And like, I don't mind a sack, like that shit, you know, shit happens, but like this was stupid. Like, he had the space for my 1 back row, which was a compulse, and you know, it's whatever. And then he summoned something else, and I max C, and then I assume that'll make it stop, and then he just returns, so I draw the 1 more and goes off. He ended up with a field of like Heliopolis, Dracosac, Blaster, and Scrap Dragon or something like that, and like, you know, GG from there. Game 3 Consular, Kid was actually really good. I'm not even gonna lie, like his build was really solid. He had some weird techs though. Like, he played Triple Valor, and he played 1-for-1 because he played like hard card ease. He played Pot of Duality and stuff like that, which is sometimes dead. And he also said that during playtesting, because like I asked him about it after the round, we had mad time because I 2-0'd him, but I asked him about the 1-for-1 specifically, and he's like, well, you know, during testing a lot, like, this deck loses when they Valor Sombre late game. So, or like if they have Felgrand out, there's nothing that deck can do, because you can't use Sombre's effect, you can't use Platy's effect. So he said what he would do is normal summon the Sombre, attempt to use its effect, it would get Felgranded, and then he would play 1-for-1, pitch a card D or a duality that he didn't need anymore, summon a Valor, because he did run the 3, and then he'd synchro into Cataster and crash over Felgrand. So like, I actually thought it was a really good play. He just, like, we didn't really see late game with us because I mean, I drew really well. I guess both games. Like, both games I saw a turn 1 Felgrand and then, like, a back row or two. So, you know, head off to him with his spicy tech, I guess. Round 4, I played against Karakuri, like the Gear Giga Karakuri, and both games that he won, he saw double Gear Giga Gear turn 1. So, like, he'd set them both, and then my end phase, he'd flip one, and then his draw phase, he'd flip the other. And then he has just stupid rank 4s he can go into without even having to normal summon. So, you know, a loss is a loss, I guess. So at that point I was 2-2. I was thinking about dropping, but I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll play it out. See how it works. And then from there, it was all dragons. Everybody dragons. Like, that was crazy. I played Dragon Ruler, round 5, 2-0'd him. Mythic Ruler, round 6, 2-1'd him. Mythic Ruler again, round 7, 2-0'd him. Dragoonity Ruler, but not really Dragoonity Ruler. It was more like a... He ran... The only 2 Dragon Rulers he ran were Redox and Tempest. He ran 2 Redox, 3 Tempest. The 2 Redox is because he main decked Triple Maxi and Scarecrow, so he could reborn stuff. Like, if his Ducks got Valid, he could just reborn Phalanx, whatever. So that was pretty interesting. He was doing pretty well. We were both X2 at that point. So I knocked him off the bubble, which kind of sucks. I felt bad. But I 2-1'd him. And then in the last round, I played against, you know, one of my buddies, Dion Green. We drove in the car together. So, you know, we were kind of expecting it, but not really. And we played it out, and I 2-0'd him, like, really, really hard, because Vanity's Fiend's too good. And, you know, I already have my invite, and we were both X2, so I didn't want to knock him out of the running for it. So without even really telling him, I just kind of just checked his name on the match slip, gave him the win. You know, he was really happy about it. So leaving Philadelphia, everybody in our car, short of one person who probably is like the nicest person that went with us, ironically, Ken Santabria, who didn't have luck on his side early and ended up dropping, but everybody other than him actually ended up leaving with their invite. I already had it, and the other 3 people in our car got it there. I would have got 17th place, because like that's what Dion got, and we had similar tiebreakers. But it's whatever. So the Rochester car actually got 16th place, 17th place, like 30-something place, and then I was still just out of it. You know, top 48 got invites. I got like 53rd, but it's whatever. I did really well with the deck. I would have gotten placed a lot higher, but you know, I was being a nice guy. So that's it for the deck profile, guys. Thanks for listening and dealing with all my bullshit rambling. So yeah. Wait, there's more. Totally forgot about that. I'll make this really, really fast, though. Word of advice to anybody trying to build or play Mythic Rulers. There are 5 cards you should side out every single game, period. Like, every non-game one, side them out, and you will be amazed on how good your deck will run. Here we go. Can't see that? It is the 2 Mythic Tree, 2 Mythic Water, and Gold Sark. They suck game 2, because your opponent sees it coming. It's awful in a mirror match, and you just don't do it. Like, if you're playing against like something that just loses to Felgrand, like Consular, leave them in. But otherwise, side them the fuck out. It is so much better just to have 5 actual good side deck cards there, and it really doesn't disrupt the flow of your deck at all, because instead of taking out a combo piece, you're taking out an entire combo option, which means you can focus more on the actual pure Dragon Ruler sense of the deck. So yeah, guys, anyway, now we're done. Thanks for dealing with that shit. Like, comment, subscribe down below, comment and stuff if you have any thoughts on the deck. As always, thanks for watching. Stay beautiful.